Happy iPhone 17 launch day as Apple finally revealed the iPhone 17, iPhone 17 Air, and the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, the most important iPhone lineup with the biggest key decision that will absolutely change the game. And as usual, Apple's biggest rival, Samsung, has reacted in the most Samsung way possible. So first up, Samsung took a shot at the cameras of the iPhone 17 Pro, saying that three 48 megapixel lenses still doesn't equal 200 megapixel. This is a quite weak jab from Samsung. I mean, come on, you can't just flex megapixels in 2025. We all know the reality of Samsung's 200 megapixel sensor in real life performance. Even when you're shooting at 200 megapixel mode and only in specific situations, the difference is still not as much as you think of it in your mind. But speaking of three 48 megapixel cameras, Apple has added a new 48 megapixel zoom. It's actually a 4x zoom instead of 5x from last year, but because it's a bigger sensor with higher megapixel resolution, it can do in-sensor lossless zoom up to 8x and extended zoom of up to 40x, meaning the zoom performance should be on par with the Galaxy S25 Ultra or might even surpass that if they have done the processing right. Now, the second shot from Samsung is regarding Apple not making foldables, and yes, that is true. No matter how much improvement you can add to a standard phone, it's still going to be a standard phone, meaning the fun you get with the foldable phones is always gonna be more exciting. There's some things that just go beyond specs, so I would say this roast is legit. Apple also finally added live translation, something Samsung added like 2 years ago with the Galaxy S24 series, so legit. And then the fact that it took Apple 5 years to add its sleep score for their health tracking, this is also legit. They also use MKBHD's tweet as well, which is very cheeky, saying actual innovation is greater than hype. Once again, hashtag icon, but in all honesty, Apple has done something really incredible with the iPhone 17 series that we should talk about. The most boring iPhone out of all these iPhones is the iPhone 17. I mean, visually, it doesn't have any change, but this iPhone is probably Samsung's biggest nightmare. With the iPhone 17, Apple added way more upgrades than anyone imagined. Apple made the most important decision of ditching the 60Hz refresh rate and finally adopting the 120Hz dynamic refresh rate for the iPhone 17. Not just that, they made the display brighter than even Samsung's Ultra phone, the S25 Ultra, coming at 3000 nits versus 2600 nits of the Galaxy S25 Ultra. It's got anti-reflective coating, it's 3x more durable. We also have two 48 megapixel cameras on the back, so higher megapixel resolution ultra wide angle lens compared to Samsung's 12 megapixel standard ultra wide that they give with the Galaxy S25. It's got even bigger battery along with Apple A19 chip. You also get the new 24 megapixel front camera with the center stage feature that is actually really smart, where you can take both horizontal and vertical photo in different orientations at the same time. Something that no brand has done, something that content creators would really appreciate. And it's costing the same price for the 256GB model as the last year's iPhone 16 model. At $799, this is not just the best iPhone, but one of the best phones to pick up at this price. Definitely an absolute nightmare for Samsung and Google. In the past, the base iPhone has always been the best-selling iPhone, and now with the 120Hz refresh rate and the added improvements, this thing is gonna sell like hotcakes. Now, the weirdest iPhone out of all of them is the iPhone Air. Seeing this, I definitely have more respect for Samsung when it comes to thin phone, because they definitely did more with the S25 Edge compared to the iPhone Air. Design-wise, the iPhone Air is incredible. Like, the whole computing system fits in this tiny camera bump area. It is ridiculously thin, coming at 5.6 millimeter. It really is fantastic to see in real life, but the problem is it costs $1,000. It only has one single camera, plus the battery is questionably thin. Even though Apple claims that it's gonna get all-day battery life, they're still selling you a battery pack with this phone, which makes me think that the battery isn't as good as they claim. While it does have A19 Pro chip inside, it's definitely not going to perform as good as the one inside the Pro models because of how thin it is. Let me know what you think about the iPhone Air in the comments below. And finally, we have the iPhone 17 Pro and the Pro Max. These iPhones are packing the most power. In fact, with A19 Pro, this is the fastest chip on any smartphone out there, at least for now, until we see Qualcomm's latest chip. But for now, iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max are probably the fastest phones you can pick up. Not only that, the efficiency gains are also off the charts combined with the biggest batteries. Especially if you go with the eSIM model, you're gonna get the biggest battery. But either way, even if you go with the physical SIM model, battery life is gonna be incredible on both Pro and the Pro Max. Obviously, the biggest addition is that 48 megapixel 4x zoom that they've added. We already discussed that. It's gonna close the gap with Samsung and probably with other phones as well. We've got iOS 26 on board across all these iPhones with the liquid glass design that looks incredible. With that being said, Samsung is clearly ahead when it comes to the AI features are concerned. Not only you get Google Gemini features, but also you get Galaxy AI features across the board. But I just really like what Apple has done with iOS 26, and obviously we're going to get more Apple Intelligence features in the future, but right now it won't be on par with what Google Gemini and Samsung can do. Overall, the iPhone 17 lineup looks pretty exciting, especially what they've done with the base model. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Overall, if I have to rate Samsung's roast, I will say it's like 4 out of 10 at max. I mean, they could have taken more dig at the iPhone Air, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.